blackboard drawing is drawing with pastels on a black surface, and it is like theatre. Now, to do this, you need good chalks. Cheap chalks don't do it, but good chalks. And if you look at these beautiful chalks here, you'll see a whole array of colours. Colours you find in the rainbow, colours you find in the earth, even a grey, even a black. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw with these pastels, and it's like drawing with light. All these colours actually are white, impregnated with colour. That's the nature of pastel crayon. So everything I do with these chalks, except for maybe the black, will be bringing light onto the darkness. I'm using the whole of the length of the crayon. It's a big, broad space. I'm using the long edge, holding it in the middle, thumb and two fingers. So as I draw the crayon across, it's releasing light behind it. It's interesting because there are two, if you like, great movements. The straight line and the other is the curve. And everything is woven out of these two movements. Let's try something with the golden yellow. Going to clean the crayon with a cloth. I'm going to take the surface other colours off. I won't say muck, but the problem is, you see, if I take a ray going out and into the blue, the crayon is going to pick up blue. Can you all see that? Okay, we're going to pick up blue. So you really need to wipe it off, because it doesn't take much imagination to see if you go back into the sunlight, you're going to bring blue into the yellow and it's going to become green. So we clean it, and then you can go back into the sun and ray out. Right, I'm going to show you a technique of shaping through change of pressure. So we're going to start with light, and then basically seeing how the light from the sun would shine on a hillside. Pressure, more pressure, and more pressure. Let's go up this side now. I'm changing my pressure to give a kind of waving movement in and out. I'm literally dancing the white down the hillside here, as if it's catching the sunlight. Of course, it will catch the sunlight mainly where the sun can actually touch the mountain. You wouldn't find it on the dark side, on the shadow side. So it's not on this side, but on this side here. And it makes the mountain look as though it's looking in towards the sun. And to separate this hill from the darker green now, I'm going to use the yellow. Could do many other things, but Can you see how the yellow in its light is contrasting the darker nature of the blue here? I could make a very strong change of color by using the orange and highlighting the edge with the complementary color to the blue, and even increase that contrast by taking white. I can use highlighting with the orange now to create a kind of character to this castle. I'm just blocking in blocks of color, taking some of that white away, and you can see how the mountain here, which can go on behind, is acting like a silhouette to the light, and I could intensify that feeling if I do this, and then I'm actually bringing out the shape of the mountain a bit more. So he's reading the stars, so you've got all the star constellations up here. Now I know I've done the sun here, but I'm just playing with the story right now. Now I could change the nature of him considerably if he all came into white. It would be very different. And if instead of, and the lovely thing is with a blackboard, you can actually, without rubbing out with a rubber, you can actually just redraw things. Oh, there is. I've just seen it coming. There is the golden eagle. Just very simple strokes. I'm pressing quite hard to get it. And the body of the eagle, and just a touch for the head. And it's flying towards the king. The king's waiting for it. Now, it looks so it's getting complicated. Let's do a bit more of the boat. I'm going to highlight the boat a bit. With a light brown or this orange color, it's quite nice. I'm just picking out the bow into the water. Interesting with boats, if you feel the whole shape, I'll do it sort of like a line to begin with, but then let the water cover over. It's a great thing. You can really tell stories with chalk. Now I put the boat well into the water. And if the boat's moving along, it will have sails, but just while we're at it, a bit of white to divide the water, even streaming it along a little bit. Too much white and it'll be a big machine in the back, a big engine. And, okay. The wind coming in, let's start with the back sail and bring the white. I can go right over the landscape, just cover it over. Feel the wind into the sail, and then the wind curving what is a square sail, effectively. So let the wind blowing in. I'm going to be overlapping the sail. So I start with that one, and now this big one here, very big sail, and I can go right, I know I'm drawing right through the masts, but it doesn't matter. And what I'm not doing is giving a line finish, because that would take the wind out of the sails. it would stiffen them. So I'd rather leave it a bit raggedy at the bottom than tidy it up and make it look as though the sail is stiff. Might be good to put a bit of tiling on the church, and maybe they're getting married in the church or something like that, and the golden cross on top, enough to see that it's a church. Bell tower, a little bit of blue in there, and the bell, which is ringing because it's time to stop. I've used this board so much and so intensely that it's starting to shine up, and it means that the chalks, any chalk will be slipping on this blackboard now. That's a problem when the blackboards get too polished. But you can see when you look here on a reasonably fresh board, it's incredible how the colour just pours out of the crayon. It's really very good indeed. I really like this blue purple. It's more of a purple than a blue, but it acts very well as a dark blue, because that's one difficult thing, is how to get deeper colour with chalks. You can play with the darker blue and the lighter blue. You've got the light green, which is almost like the yellow. In the wrong light, you can mistake them. I mean, look how that colour pours out, light green. And then you've got the olive green, which is it's a slightly brown green. In other words, it's not absolute rainbow green, but a very good plant green, because plants, they're not absolute rainbow green. They're always broken with a little bit of red. And then you've got this blue green, which, if you press hard, is lighter than the olive green, but it has the blue nature in it, which is very useful for all sorts of things. And you can colour it over with the other colours, the blues, to quieten it down. Lots you can do. The two yellows, if I can find them again. The gold. As we've seen in the crown, it really, if you press hard, you can really get such a powerful gold coming out here. And then you've got the lemon yellow, as you see here. I could give him a mantle with this purple. It's a rich red purple, which is useful. And then if I do a bigger mantle and show the other purple, I'm pressing very hard now, so you can see that it's tending towards the blue. And again, you can doctor that with the blues as well. And then the grey. I wish I had that the other day, because I could have made a grey wolf when doing the story of Little Red Riding Hood. My wolf was looking far too purple and far too nice, and with the grey, it gives you a lot of possibilities in many stories. And actually being able to use the black or something like that, black is actually quite useful, to give these different shades of grey, of the grey wolf. So, wonderful range of colour. I've taken you through all sorts of techniques and playfulness with the crayons. I suppose the most important thing is it's a wonderful medium for telling a story and for recalling a story. And for school purposes, it is also very good for bringing into what I would say, into the bones of children, the content of a lesson. So in other words, you can make it pictorial. And for many children, it's another way to learn, and not just through the top of the head. And through the word, but they can see a visual explanation or a visual unfolding of what they've been learning. So it's a very powerful tool, actually, and particularly because one is lightening out of the dark, and education actually is all about lightening out of dark, or another way is actually enlightening what in a way the children already know, but it is in the dark and needs unfolding, needs waking up. And this is an enormously useful tool. And such chalks as these are very, very powerful, actually, as a medium for telling a story.